you keep finding yourself attracted to emotionally unavailable people, it's not that you're broken and it's not that you're unlucky, it's that there's something familiar happening underneath the surface. We learned from a very young age that in order to receive love, affection, or attention, we had to do something, we had to contort ourselves in some way in order to receive those things. So when you're the person that is ending up in emotionally unavailable relationships, you oftentimes learned at a young age to people please. You learned that in order to be wanted, appreciated, or loved, you had to provide some form of value. And what's happening now is you are finding dynamics that match that. In fact, it actually feels good. Like, I remember, because I lean on this side too, I'm generally more on the anxious side than the avoidance side, but I kind of go back and forth depending on if it's a friendship or romantic. Anyways, I tend to be on the more anxious side. And from experience, it almost feels good when I know the person that I'm interested in is emotionally unavailable, because I feel like I'm the person that's going to teach them how great it is to get to know themselves, to heal their wounds, to work on themselves, and then they're going to love me forever and they'll never want to leave me. And that's never worked because they, first of all, they're not at a place in their lives to want that for themselves. And I have also at times been very pushy, and that actually pushes people away. So that could be a whole other video in and of itself. But when you are continuously finding yourself in relationships that are emotionally unavailable, it's important to understand what the pattern underneath it looks like for you if you actually want to stop attracting those partners. I know that these dynamics create so much pain. Oh my goodness, I have been through it. I'm not like negating that or saying, what they did or whatever happened in your relationship or your past relationships. I'm not saying that it's okay, but I am saying that if you wanted to change, there are things happening within that are attracting this. And if you change it from the inside, you can start changing what is coming towards you from the outside. And also, you can just have better discernment. So even just the awareness that you are wanting to find somebody wounded because it is fulfilling the belief within you that you have to be of value in order to truly be loved, like just breaking down that belief system and rewiring that to realize that you are worthy exactly as you are. You don't have to provide anything, and a emotionally available person and a healthy person is going to be able to see that. Of course, they're not going to feel, in fact, they're going to feel really overwhelmed if you try to quote unquote fix them. We cannot fix anybody. All that we can do is control ourselves. I want to be with somebody who wants to do that work on their own, like who's actually invested in learning their side of this. And to talk about that for a moment, so for the people who tend to be on the more anxious side, they find people pleasing in order to feel valued and appreciated. People who are on the more avoidant side learn that the smaller that they make themselves, the quieter they are. If they have emotion and they suppress it, or they're like really easy, then that is what gets them affection. That is what gets them love. That is what makes them feel safe. And they learn to retreat. They learn to hide what they're really feeling. And they have this deep fear that when there are emotions, it's going to go poorly, because they're probably used to, when they do express themselves, the outcome's bad. They either get criticized, they get yelled at, they get punished. And they learn to fear sharing their emotions. So when somebody is shutting down and they're not coming back around, their nervous system is activated too, until they're at a place where they genuinely want to, for themselves, work on that. There is nothing that you can do to make a relationship like that stable. Of course, you can choose to stay in the relationship, but it's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be functional. It can't be. It can't be, because it requires that you overfunction in order for it to survive their avoidance, their dissociation, their pulling away. And yeah, that's exhausting for you. That takes away from you enjoying and living your precious life. Each relationship that I have been in, I believe relationships are mirrors, has taught me something new and helped me uncover my pattern as to why I keep ending up in relationships that don't have the capacity to go the distance that I consciously really want, but subconsciously haven't had the body for quite yet. But I do think I'm getting there. Anyways, my last one was realizing that I did not want to be seen. I had a deep fear of being seen because if I was showing up exactly as I am and then was rejected, I was afraid of how that might feel. But just reframing that and like talking that through with myself and realizing I can't be for everybody. I'm trying to be for one person. Like, I would like to be in a wonderful, amazing relationship with one person. Like, I can't be for everybody. So it doesn't matter if somebody rejects me. That actually puts me one step closer. And yeah, just owning like I am enough as I am, and I do want to be seen. I want to be seen for who I am. But I was young and I was just being myself. I got criticized. I got made fun of. So my nervous system learned that showing who I really was made me an outcast, made me unaccepted. And that's what I kept. That is the same kind of energy that I've been consistently attracting in my past relationships. And I had to work through that. I had to understand what was living beneath the surface. So I don't know exactly what's living beneath the surface for you, but I do know that if you are ending up in these types of relationships, or if you are on the other side and you're the one that's running when you actually would love to go the distance with somebody, then there's something underneath it. And if you lived through the experience that created this wounding and this patterning initially, you can absolutely survive the discomfort and pain that might come up as you understand it, as you dig in and understand where it's coming from. And then also you have the power to reframe it, to talk through this with yourself and shift the way that you believe about yourself. And once you do that, it's so much easier. Now it's so clear to me to see when people are unavailable. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's not going to go the distance. It's a lot easier to pick up on these little cues and just have like absolute confidence that if I show up as myself and that scares somebody away, that is a relationship that's out of alignment. So yeah, that's what I got. If you've made it this far, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and let me know what you think.